Alpha Theta sorority will be removed from campus.
Coming up, we'll take a look at what this officially means for the chapter and how members are reacting to the news.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Annie Mapp.
And I'm Gracyn Ashmore.
After 39 years on campus, the Epsilon Zeta chapter of Kappa Alpha Theta will no longer be at Ole Miss.
NewsWatch reporter DeAndria Turner is in studio to tell us the impact this will have on the new and current members.
Thanks, guys. I visited the Kappa Alpha Theta house where a meeting was scheduled today. These are the details that we know for now. Today, the chapter advisor and president of the Epsilon chapter of Kappa Alpha Theta, along with the director of fraternal leadership and learning, Arthur Doctor, and vice chancellor of student affairs, Brandy Heffler LeBlanc, was scheduled to have a meeting at 3 p.m. outside of the chapter's house to answer questions about the closure of the chapter. Student media reporters waited for over an hour for a meeting, but there was no response from the officials. The only official statement we have is an email from the fraternal leadership and learning director, Arthur Doctor, stating that the sorority is still in good standing and compliant with all of the university policies and guidelines. Again, the sorority was chartered 39 years ago, but they will lose their charter by spring 2019. The UM Communications said current members will become unaffiliated students and new members can still be initiated as scheduled on November 10th or be released from their pledge and membership recruitment acceptance binding agreement. New members who choose not to be initiated will have all of their dues refunded. Gracyn, back to you.
Thanks, DeAndria. A man is charged for the shots fired outside the Lyric on April 27th. Memphis resident Desmond Bowen pleaded guilty yesterday to being a felon in possession of ammunition during the incident. The plea was accepted in court. Bowen fired a shot upward after a fight broke out inside. It hit underneath the balcony, ricocheted, and hit a patron. He faces a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. The sentence is set for February 14th. The announcement sent a shockwave through Ole Miss's Greek community. NewsWatch reporter Amanda Halle has more on the story affecting close to 300 students.
These women are walking into their sorority house for one of the last times ever. The Epsilon Zeta chapter of Kappa Alpha Theta found out today that their national organization is shutting them down. Low enrollment over a number of years led to the decision. Theta sorority member Sarah Doan is still reeling from the news.
Theta's impacted my life and my college career more than anyone could ever imagine. It's kind of very hard. It's kind of like out of the blue, and it's something that, when I came to Ole Miss and I joined the Greek community, it's something that I never would expect to happen to me my senior year.
Women living in the sorority house will be able to stay there until the end of the spring semester, but the chapter ceases to exist when fall semester ends. Members of other sororities are expressing sympathy for the Theta women.
There's so many awesome girls in that chapter, and it just really breaks my heart for them because it's something like they could be involved in, something that they could do.
The Theta sorority is best known for the annual Theta Encore event, which is set for November 7th.
Members of Kappa Alpha Theta are devastated by the news. However, the girls in the sorority are determined to make Theta Encore 2018 a big success.
Everybody knows Theta Encore is like a big thing. Everybody wants to win Theta Encore. It's like a big thing to win. So hopefully everybody can just put their best effort into it with this being the last year.
The last year for sorority that has been part of Ole Miss for 4 decades. Amanda Halle, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Despite everything that is going on with Kappa Alpha Theta, the sorority still held their formal last night.
The Oxford Police Department is asking for help on a sexual assault case that happened during the Auburn game day weekend. They've admitted they've run out of leads, but they do know the following. The attack happened on East Van Buren Avenue around 8 p.m. on October 20th. The suspect is a white male who is 5'11". At the time, he was wearing a light tan Costa baseball cap. If you have any information on the suspect, please contact OPD. During the Thanksgiving break week, there has been an increase in burglaries around in Oxford. NewsWatch reporter Miranda Crosby explains how you can prevent this from happening to your own home.
When you close your door before heading out for the holidays, Oxford Police investigator Marcus Wilson says you need to be making sure your home is less attractive to thieves.
Usually around the holiday time when students leave to go home for the holidays, A lot of time people leave like the curtains open and stuff like that where people can see valuables inside your house. So one tip could be to close your curtains. Don't leave any valuables where people can see them while no one is at home. Get someone to check on your house periodically.
Student Taylor Brown travels home to Houston regularly and knows how to take precautions.
When I go home for the holidays, like, I'll make sure that all my valuables are in like different spots, so if someone were to come in, like, they wouldn't be able to find everything. But I usually do bring like my most important stuff home with me.
If you're going out of town for this upcoming holiday season, be sure to lock up so that you don't become the next victim of burglary. Miranda Crosby, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Thanksgiving break week begins November 17th and lasts until November 25th.
The Ole Miss men's basketball season begins tonight at the Pavilion. SportsWatch reporter Halle Ames is reporting live at the arena to tell us more about opening night. Halle?
Thanks, Gracyn. I'm here live at the Pavilion where tonight the Ole Miss Rebels will take on the Fayetteville State Broncos. Your starting lineup for tonight's game will be Dominic Olenichek, Bruce Stevens, Brian Tyree, Tyrance Davis, and Deontay Schuler. Now, the one you want to watch is Tyrance Davis. He's coming back for his senior season. He went to the draft last year but decided he wanted to drop out to get a higher spot. He's been double digits every game. He's a senior. He's 6'4". He's a guard from South Haven, Mississippi. Oh, I'm so sorry. I am here with Ole Miss fan, lifelong Ole Miss fan, Don. Don, okay, so what expectations do you have for new head coach Kermit Davis this season?
I'm very excited about Kermit.
Why?
He's an outstanding coach and has a great record. And when he's been, even though he's at Middle Tennessee, he beat SEC teams, Power 5 teams. I think he has something like a 7-1 record. So he took Middle Tennessee to the NCAA playoffs quite a few times.
Okay, and so you say, so SEC is one of the top conferences in the NCAA tournament. I think we had 8 last year. Do you think we have a chance of making it this year?
Well, it's going to be tough. It's we have a very inexperienced team, a young team, and the conference is particularly strong. It's very strong this year. So we have a chance. I'm hoping we do.
Okay, and then our record was 12-20 last season, as opposed to Fayetteville State's was 8-21. What do you think the game's going to be like tonight?
Well, it's a good exhibition game. They play in a somewhat lesser conference than the SEC, so we expect an exhibition game, and there'll be a lot of chance for people to try, get a lot of experience, and so we'll see a lot of new guys and see a lot of excitement.
Think we'll win?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you. Okay, again, that game is tonight in 1 hour, so get out and support. It is free admission for everyone because it's an exhibition game. Our next game will be November 10th versus Western Michigan for our start of our season. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Halle. Big news for Ole Miss football. Ole Miss's appeal has finally been overturned by the NCAA. SportsWatch reporter Skye Spiehler is on set to tell us more. Skye?
Thanks, Annie. It was announced yesterday that the NCAA ruling was laid down after hearing Ole Miss's appeal. Our Sports Watch reporter Colin Rivera spoke to WTVA Sports Director Jim Holder on what it means for the football program moving forward.
Well, short term, it's disappointing because the Ole Miss will not be able to play a bowl game in 2018, which had been expected all along. But for long term, I think it turns out better because of the lifting of the unrestricted recruiting visits. That has been unprecedented. So, to build a program, you got to recruit, and you want to be able to recruit as much as you possibly can. So, the fact that the NCAA thought that the committee kind of overstepped its bounds, or the infractions committee kind of overstepped its bounds, a little surprised me, because usually with something with an NCAA appeal, very rarely do you hear anything overturned. So I think overall, even though, again, like I said, it's disappointing in the short term for Ole Miss because of no bowl, but I think long term, the fact that they've had some of those restrictions on recruiting removed is going to turn out well in the long run, I believe.
This ends an NCAA investigation process that's dated back all the way to 2012. Following this season, Ole Miss will finally be able to get back to recruiting without restrictions. The Rebels are coming off of their bye this week as they say goodbye to the NCAA investigation. This week's opponent, the South Carolina Gamecocks. The 5-3 Rebs are coming off of a loss to Auburn where they were able to hang for a little while, but red zone inefficiency, among other things, allowed Auburn to run away in the second half. They need to put 6 on the board in scoring opportunities, and that likely starts with the running game. Expect the Rebs to come out and run plenty as the Gamecocks have allowed 174 rushing yards per game. South Carolina's only given up 5 pass plays of 30 yards or longer, and the Rebels have relied on the long ball with 33 plays of 30-plus yards. That's the most in all of college football. Like Ole Miss, South Carolina relies on the deep passes to get the ball down the field. Their kryptonite has been turnovers. They've given the ball away 13 times this season. The Rebels have come away with 12 takeaways. They can swing the game in their favor if they're able to do that tomorrow. The Rebels have home field advantage, so I'm expecting them to take this one against a pretty evenly matched South Carolina team.
Thanks, Skye. Well, the midterm elections are 4 days away, and coming up, we'll take a look at some of the different governor races and how they could impact the country.
And see how many jobs the U.S. added in October and why the number may have beaten expectations. But first, Kayla White has your first look at the current weather conditions.
Good evening, Rebels and Hottie Toddy. If you need some chill this weekend, then you are going to get it. We've got cooler temperatures moving in. A little rain this weekend, but we will have a couple showers throughout the week. If you look behind me, you see, again, we got a little activity going on, not too much. Now, if you stick with me for a storm watch, I'll let you know just how much rain that there's going to be.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfies, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Less than a week to go before the 2018 midterms, and there's a different kind of buzz around this election day. NewsWatch reporter Avery Saylor tells us about the major races taking place.
Candidates across the country are heading towards the final stretch before the 2018 midterm elections.
One thing you do is next Tuesday is vote.
And there's an unusual excitement in the air. More than 24 youth activist groups have scheduled a national walkout Tuesday. The goal is to get people out to vote. And it's not just students making that push. President Trump is stumping in a number of states over the next few days, including Montana, Tennessee, and Ohio.
I think that the president's the best messenger for the party. He's had an incredible, historic first 2 years in office, and he has a great story to tell.
One of the most closely watched races is in Texas. Republican incumbent Ted Cruz is battling for his seat in the Senate against Democratic Congressman Beto O'Rourke. A lot of eyes are on the gubernatorial contest in Georgia between Republican Brian Kemp and Democrat Stacey Abrams. Members of the White House, including Vice President Pence, are campaigning for Kemp. Abrams has the backing of former Presidents Obama and Carter, as well as Oprah Winfrey. Meanwhile, in Wisconsin, incumbent GOP Governor Scott Walker is neck and neck with Democratic challenger Tony Evers.
This last week may be a game of inches, maybe millimeters, to who gets the advantage.
Which means every vote counts.
As for Tuesday, all 435 seats in the House of Representatives are up for grabs, as are 35 seats in the Senate and 36 governor races. The mail bomb suspect Cesar Sayoc will be moved to New York to face charges. Sayoc was accused of sending a series of explosives to critics of President Trump. Federal prosecutors in Miami have charged him with 5 criminal accounts, including interstate transport of explosives, mailing of explosives, threats against former presidents, making threatening interstate communications, and assault of current or former officials. Some of those people targeted include Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden. If convicted, the 56-year-old will be facing up to 48 years behind bars.
A woman is partially responsible for a fatal bus crash after attacking the driver, killing 15 passengers. Investigators revealed the 48-year-old attacked the driver with her cell phone on Sunday. This caused him to swerve into oncoming traffic before wrecking into the railings on the side of a bridge. She was angry that she missed her stop. A video released by police revealed the attack, bringing an end to the mystery surrounding the causes of the deadly crash. There is positive news for the economy. 250,000 jobs were added during the month of October. Wage gains passing 3% for the first time since the Great Recession. The unemployment rate stayed below 3.7%. That is the lowest since 1969. The employment to population ratio increased to over 60%, the highest since 2008. The only missing piece of this economic recovery is the wage growth, representing a 3.1% gain. The annual increase in wages was the best since 2009. This is being watched closely by the Federal Reserve.
Well, with the beautiful weather in Oxford today, it looks like we're gearing up for a great fall game day weekend.
I'm really loving the cooler temps and clear skies. Coming up in her extended forecast, Kayla White will let us know if this nice weather will continue for tomorrow's game.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured, but you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered. Oh.
My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
Good evening,
Rebels and Hottie Toddy, we've got a cooler weekend ahead, but that won't stop us from defeating the Gamecocks. We're sitting at a cool 54 degrees, slightly cloudy. If you look behind me at our image, you can see there is not too much going on. We do have some activity moving towards Mississippi, however. Moving on to tomorrow's temperatures, how our neighbors are faring. South Haven is at 55, Oxford right below it at 54, and then Holly Springs below us at 52, Corinth at 56, and Tupelo topping us off at 58. And then tomorrow's temperatures, things are gonna rise slightly. Oxford is going to be at 66, and then South Haven at 56, Holly Springs at 57, Corinth at 57, and then Tupelo below us at 59. So we'll be on the higher end this time. All right, so moving on to tonight's forecast, we're at 38 degrees, so it's going to be a little cold. You might want to bundle up, but don't let that stop you from supporting our Rebel basketball team first. And then tomorrow's temperatures, things are going to heat up a little bit, so we're going to be grateful for that warmer weather, 66 degrees and sunny. And then moving on to our 5-day forecast. All right, we got Sunday at 59, and then Monday at 69, Tuesday at 69, and then we're going to drop off on later into the week. Remember to keep that umbrella in your backpacks for those thunderstorms. Back to you.
Thanks, Kayla. Coming up, see what the Ole Miss men and women's teams need to do to have a more successful season than last year's.
And see which former Southern Mississippi quarterback broke records in the NFL last night next.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Action.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I bought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Welcome to Sports Watch. I'm Skye Spiehler. Ole Miss's basketball teams prepare to tip off a new season with exhibition games tonight. The women brought in head coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen. She's the national coach for the Bahamas and coached at Jacksonville, where she had a 94-63 record in 5 seasons. They're hoping she can help the Rebs improve on a 6-10 SEC record a year ago. As far as the roster goes, Ole Miss has 5 freshmen and are bringing back a good group of seniors, including Chandrika Sessom. She became the 28th 1,000-point scorer in Ole Miss's history a year ago and will be a focal point for them offensively. As for the men, what do you know? They brought in a new coach as well. Former Middle Tennessee head coach Kermit Davis is here, and he comes in with high expectations. During his time at Middle Tennessee, Davis led the Blue Raiders to multiple upset wins, including a historic 2016 win over Michigan State. His focus will be having his guys hustle defensively and keeping the pace up on offense. He's got the right guy to lead the way, too. Terrence Davis returns this season after opting not to enter the NBA draft. He's been known to make hustle plays and will likely be featured as a scorer along with point guard Breein Tyree. Last night, the 49ers started a Southern Miss quarterback wearing the number 4. No, Brett Favre didn't unretire yet again. It was rookie Nick Mullins out there taking on the Raiders in his rookie debut. And what a debut it was. He went 16 of 22 with 262 yards and 3 touchdowns. And get this, he had a 151.9 passer rating. That's the most by a quarterback with at least 15 attempts in his debut since the NFL and AFL merged back in 1970. He led the Niners to an easy 34-3 victory over Oakland, and head coach Kyle Shanahan has left open the possibility of Mullins starting moving forward. Gymnastics legend Simone Biles added to her already lofty legacy earlier today when she won her first title on vault. She did so despite falling twice in the event, and she was able to do so because of the level of difficulty of her vaults. She also won her first medal on the uneven bars, and that makes her the first gymnast in U.S. history to earn a world medal in every event, while also being the most decorated world champion in gymnastics history. To make this even more impressive, she did it a night after being hospitalized because of a kidney stone after a 14-month break. That's all for sports. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at NewsWatch_UM for live game updates for tonight's men's basketball game and for the South Carolina game tomorrow. Gracyn and Annie, back to you.
Thanks, Skye. Well, bad boys, what you gonna do? It might be to make a new film.
Stay tuned to see which 2 actors are returning to this movie franchise that got its start in 1995.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans. Because love has no labels.
Yo, I'm telling y'all, this is crazy. Just wait. It's official. It's official, baby. It's official. Bad Boys 3.
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are back. The two confirmed on Instagram this week that they are locked in for the 3rd Bad Boys movie franchise, Bad Boys for Life.
It's been 15 years since the last film was released, and the total franchise has grossed over $400 million. Sony has set this 3rd film for a 2020 release.
Well, Grace, Kayla, I'm a huge Bad Boys movie fan.
You know, I actually haven't seen it, but how would the weather look for watching a movie this weekend?
Well, this weekend it won't be too bad, but next week I would check the dates because there will be a couple of thunderstorms.
Thanks, Kayla. That's all we have for tonight. Thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Annie Mapp.
Be sure to join us here again Monday night at 5 and on NewsWatchOleMiss.com. I'm Gracyn Ashmore. Thank you.